Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Quest of Destiny, and I am here with my lovely wife, Harvey. This is our second time recording this video. We tried to do it the first time the day after Valentine's Day, and we were painting while we were doing it, and it was everywhere. It's chaotic. It was a lot of pauses. And yeah, we're just going to answer a few questions about how we met, where we were in life, and leave a comment below if you want to hear more about our story or just any questions that you want to know from us. Leave a comment below and I'll try to answer them. And we're going to get into the video right now.
What you don't know is how Ruby and Sapphire first met.
OMG, I don't.
Okay, so my headspace before I met Harvey was like just gone like the wind. I just was just moving any and everywhere that the wind took me. Wasn't really doing anything with the intention at the time. I was just living life, which makes sense. I was in my mid-20s and I had just gotten out of a relationship that was about a year, and I was just dating around at that time. So like, yeah, I wasn't taking anything too seriously before I met Harvey. I was just really in my fuckboy phase. I was still living at home at the time. I had moved back home in with my mom. Like, I just wanted to be out, and I was a busybody because I just did not want to be at home. So like, I wanted to be free, and that just came with meeting people in the community and being on Tinder. I wanted to date around too and explore, you know, being a lesbian. So I was definitely on the Tinder apps meeting people.
By coincidence, you had just happened to find a roommate and a house to live in, and your move-in date was like the weekend after we met.
Yeah, it was just perfect timing. You had your place already. I was moving into this house with a few friends of mine, and yeah, I just was ready to like really party. We was moved into this house with the intentions of throwing parties. So like, that was like my mood. I was DJing a lot at the time. So my mindset was just like building community, partying, and just practicing my autonomy and being free. That was my headspace at the time. Right before we matched on Tinder, I was talking to my friend Effie about like just opening my mind and like just dating around and stuff, and we was just talking about relationships and who we would date and who we wouldn't date. And I think I said I would never date a white girl. I'm pretty sure I said that. And she was like, why would you say that? Like, you know, like you have to keep like an open mind at least. And shortly after that, I had did a mushroom trip, and it just really expanded my mind to come to this realization that we are so much more connected than we are different. And it's really like, how do you connect with someone on a spiritual level more so than like how things look on the physical realm. And it just opened my mind to that. So going into our situation, I had an open mind more so. If I would have like, it definitely helped, because like, I don't think we would have met any other point in time in my life.
Maybe because you saw me at a lesbian event before we ever knew each other existed.
Should we just say it right now?
Yeah,
okay.
That's where we were before.
Oh yeah, that's where we were. Okay, so before we met, I seen Harvey. Like I remembered her too, because it was lesbian happy hour, and what was it? It was at Momo's Italian Bar and Grill, I think. That's where they had it at.
Where it was.
And so I had just like was just experiencing lesbian happy hour with one of my friends. And it just felt like a whole new world had opened up to me, because I've never been in a space where there was so many queer, specifically lesbian women in one room.
Yeah.
And just great. Like a great mixture, mostly black and brown, but like just a great mixture of people. And like, I was there with a person I was dating at the time. And I just remember being on the patio. The person I was dating at the time was sitting on my lap, and my friend was here. It was all sitting on the table. And I just remember like this girl walking past in all white. And like, I watched you like come from beside me and go all the way inside. And I'm like, who is this white girl? Because you were like the only one of like a
There
handful.
weren't that many white people there.
Yeah, one of a handful of white girls there. And then the fact that you was in all white too, like you just definitely stood out. And I had met you, or at least I recognized you a little bit before we even matched on Tinder. And I didn't even realize that until like we had already matched on Tinder and I was looking on your Instagram. Yeah, I was
remember that outfit.
And then like I remember that outfit. I'm like, what the I've seen you before.
They posted it on the Lesbian Happy Hour page and tagged Momo's there. So like you would have known that's where I saw her.
Exactly, because like when I was swiping through your Tinder, you looked familiar for some reason. And it's because like I had seen you before. I was stalking your Instagram and I saw that picture and like it just blew my mind. It's queer people. It's really not that big of a deal because Dallas queer scene wasn't that big at the time, but it's just the fact that we met without actually meeting before we clicked on Tinder.
So I was in a relationship that I took very seriously before you and I met, and it ended just a little under a year before we met. And in that time I was like really heartbroken, learning a lot of lessons about myself and how manipulative I was being before, how much I was lying. I'm glad I learned through that heartbreak to shed it. Because I took that relationship so seriously, I took the lessons from the heartbreak really seriously too. I wasn't really open to dating for like a really long time, but I did have some coworkers who pushed me into just trying it. And I do believe it was the very first weekend I opened my Tinder profile up that I ended up matching with you.
That's crazy.
And I was just kind of like playing the field at that point as well. And so I believe I had like 5 people lined up for that weekend, knowing that not all of them were going to happen.
Yeah.
And like you were just one of them that worked out, essentially, for me in that moment.
1 out of 5.
I know, right? But I came out of that experience being like a lot more real with myself. And when I say experience, I mean the heartbreak and the learning how to tell the truth, because learning how to tell the truth led me to a place where I had to really find like, what is my moral compass? Am I willing to live by that and tell the truth by that? Because I don't want to be doing anything that I'm going to have to lie about, essentially.
Yeah.
So, when I like really refined my moral compass, that was before I met you, and like I just felt like I know who I am now. I know like how I want to operate, and I knew what wasn't aligning with that as well. And so when I met you, like it aligned so quickly, but we'll get there. I had just moved into my second apartment, and it was so much nicer than where I'd come from before. I was really feeling like I was getting my life together. So I was in somewhat of a different place from you because you were like gone with the wind, but you were also getting your life together too. By, like,
in my own little way.
I was frequenting Lesbian Happy Hour before we met. And even like going there all the time, I wasn't trying to like meet anybody or hook up with anybody.
It was just a cool place to network.
It was so cool to be with a bunch of other lesbians specifically. The reason Lesbian Happy Hour existed is because Dallas is so lucky to have a lesbian bar called Sue Ellen's, but it's kind of known to the community out there that it's more like older white lesbians that go there. And so like younger folks, and especially younger Black lesbians, needed a place, and that's where Lesbian Happy Hour came in. It was at various locations around Dallas. That's why it was at like an Italian restaurant. Shout out to them.
For real.
That was another interracial lesbian couple that started it as well.
Yeah.
I liked them. Yeah, I feel like that's where I was at.
Okay, so we matched on Tinder. I think that you had probably already liked me, and then I had liked you, and then we matched us together once I liked you. And then I had hit you up on Tinder. I was like, hey, what's up, love? I said, hey, love. And love is our last name now.
Yes,
so it's just like,
so
I was calling you by our future last name. And that very first, I'm going to post it somewhere right here. I saw your profile. I thought like, this girl is very attractive. and I looked at your Instagram, and you look like pretty much just like a history nerd. You are into nature too. And I liked all those aspects about you. Much authenticity was ringing through within that. So like that really attracted me and pulled me to you. Like you just living in your truth and authenticity. You had came out the day.
I did.
On social media, the day I hit you up, right?
Come out that day.
We talked about it, yeah.
To the world. My parents, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was National Coming Out Day.
The same day I messaged Harvey on Tinder was the day that she came out on social media to like all her friends and family. And like all those things, just like how that all aligned. I felt like once you was ready to like be like, this is who I am, I showed up.
I was definitely the first person to like you, and I just saw that your bio was succinct and general, but I liked all those things too, and I just thought, well, maybe you like the same things, and just like, I don't know, your vibe, I love an artist, so I fell for that part, and I don't know, in hindsight, you were definitely giving rule breaker, even though, like, Aries is not really, as a Capricorn, that wasn't really what I was pursuing, but kind of in the back of my mind, I guess it was, because I liked that about you.
When she told me she was a Capricorn, I was attracted even more because I love Capricorns. Both of my grandmothers are Capricorns. I just love Capricorn women. And before I met her, I had put out like a DJ mix called Capricorn Season with all my favorite artists who are Capricorns as well. So love me a Capricorn. I didn't have no qualms or apprehensions about her being a Capricorn.
You messaged me right away, which I loved because I wasn't great about that. And let's see, you also just wanted to move to text right away, and I loved that, even though I was a little apprehensive when I asked you off bat, what's your sign? You said Aries. I have an Aries sister who, I mean, we love each other, but we do butt heads. So I was, not used to that. Hadn't met very many Aries, but willing to give it a shot, obviously.
Do you want to start off?
Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, I'd set up a bunch of meetings for that weekend,
right.
And I just kind of didn't want my time wasted, essentially, because I could have been meeting up with someone else, is my mindset. But I got there like 30 minutes late at the meeting point that you suggested, and you weren't there, cool, but when I texted you, like, you hadn't even gotten ready or like left yet, and I was like, okay, I'm 30 minutes late, are you even taking this seriously? I was a little peeved, but you go ahead and tell your side of that.
Okay, here's my side of the story, okay? and I'm happy. Did you add in that you were late too?
I did. I said I was 30 minutes late.
She was late
so
too.
If I'm 30 minutes late and you haven't even started.
Okay, and like the old saying goes, late is late, baby. Late is late. But you know what? I was way later than Harvey. I was day drinking with my friend, okay, that day.
Same friend. Come on, shout her out.
Effie. I was day drinking with my friend Effie that day, okay? We were at Tacos and Tequilas, and it was like another lesbian event. Like, again, I'm just gone with the wind. I want to be around other lesbians, other queer people. Just doing a little day drinking.
That's where Happy Hour's Pride event was.
Yeah, it was like, oh yeah, they was doing Pride. It was a Pride event happening.
Because Dallas does Pride way later than everybody else. They don't do it in June.
That's right. So it's like in October. Or like September, October. Like that. You're so right. Okay, so yeah, I was day drinking, and we weren't really texting each other. And when you hit me up, I was like, oh shit, she's serious. Let me get myself together and go. Because I was still at Effie's house, like trying to like recover from earlier that day. But I pulled myself together because I did want to meet you. Like I was interested, obviously. I wanted to see, like, okay, let's see what she's about. So I got myself together. I finally got over to Wild Detectives, and Harvey was already there.
Sitting in the booth.
I remember you had the Queen shirt on, and your hair was up. And,
in a bun.
Yes. I think your hair was kind of curly. I remember it being kind of...
But I used to have little curls coming down from my
Maybe
bun.
that's what I was remembering. But yeah, when I got there and sat down, Harvey kind of grilled me, which I was like, kind of like, I was a little bit off put by that, because it's just like, you were late too. And then like the fact that she was calling me out, it's like, damn, like she did not spare no time. She called me out right then and there. But like, I like that too. Like, I really like that she was confident, or not even confident. She just had boundaries, and she was pretty much saying like, you're late, don't mess with my time, which I respected. I was like, you're right, I'm late, my bad, I'm sorry. So I was like trying to make it up, you know.
I'm just giggling because it was for totally selfish reasons.
And I was a little bit like, I was so off put by it. I was like, damn, let me go get a drink. I remember getting a drink right after that, because it's like, because I was a little bit nervous. I'm like, damn, like,
you went and got a drink right after that.
Yeah, because I think that made me hella nervous when she did that. Like, damn, she just called me out. Like,
I don't even remember what I said.
You was visibly like mad. So I was like, damn,
that's so funny.
Let me get a drink. This can still be like a good, you know.
Well, I was softened right when you walked in, because you were fine. Like, I was checking you out. Like, right when you walked in, seriously.
Could not tell. You were like stone cold. I could not tell. But
Capricorn.
I obviously stayed. I wanted to get to know you more, and we started talking about like the NFL. This was during like the whole Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem. And we're just like giving our thoughts about it. And I think that was like the first time I made you laugh, when I said like,
you made me laugh.
I made you laugh for the first time. And like that, we were just bonding.
Yeah.
And we eventually decided to like just go to your car for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's when I seen like your notebook, this Tesla notebook.
Yes.
The Tesla, not
Nikola Tesla, not Elon.
The real
Very
Tesla.
Very important distinction.
Very important. The real Tesla, the 369 Tesla. I saw this Tesla notebook that she like had made herself. Well, just like the cover of it. And it was so cool, because she was like studying quantum physics and tarot, and just so many things that like I was interested in. And just knowing that she was doing that studying on her own, I like that shit. Like, I like a smart girl. Like, okay, if nothing else, we gonna be cool as fuck, because you're smart, and I love being around smart people who's like into the same kind of things that I'm into. And so just pulling me in even more to you. You have anything to add to that?
Oh, that is so sweet. Because I was really figuring out who I am and what I want, I definitely knew what was not gelling with me. And you and I clicked so much that I just knew after our first date that you were going to be my next relationship. Like, I just knew that right away. It was serious for me.
In an instant, you pulled me from that destiny and opened my eye to an explosion of infinite possible futures, streaking across space and time, altered and obliterated by the smallest force of will.
I did not know. Even though I thought you were cool as fuck, it was just like, I wasn't sure how serious I can get with a white girl, because it was also very new to me. And even though I thought you were cool as fuck, and I was noticing we had some similarities, I was just thinking, I don't know. We'll see. Through our first date, like, I definitely wanted to go on more dates with you. Like, I wanted to get to know you more, or just spend more time with you. I liked sharing space. I felt comfortable with you. And even when we were like sitting in your car, you were still like, she was talking shit about the way I was rolling my joints, yo. I was like, damn, like, can I live?
And I wasn't talking shit. I was teasing you.
Yeah, she teased me. It was in good fun. I liked it though.
It's because I felt really comfortable around you though. Seriously, the conversation was like, it clicked. And that's how I knew. That's what made me know, is how much the conversation just flew. Yeah. So time went by so fast, and
it was very natural.
I was also just aesthetically attracted, because you were like unpredictable, mysterious, and like putting colors together I would never, but also like was very like, yes, more, inspire me.
I love you. Bye.
See you later.